Hello, I'm Sandy Rogers, and this is the Ace Dog Vlog. And today I want to talk about the difference between praising and rewarding. I am going to use the example of recall training, polishing, misunderstandings in the lessons around recalls, dog coming back when called to you. Because I've been working with a client who's struggling a little bit, and I gave him the analogy, and I've talked about this a lot, where our responsiveness we want responsive dogs, right? That's what we want, a dog that is responsive to us. But we have to know how to be responsive to the dog. When the dog plays a card, so if you imagine a card game, when I play my card, I have to wait for you to play your card. And then I get to look at my options and then play a card. And then I wait for you to respond to what's on the table with your card. I can see dog training as this, it's communication, right? I give you my piece and I see what you do with it. And then I give you something to consider, to play off of, or to respond to. So that what I'm doing is I'm creating a partnership of responsiveness. I'm responding to you, and you're responding to me. So praise and rewarding are cards that I can play in order to keep the game going. Compliance, for lack of a better word, or ignoring me or questioning me are moves, options that my dog always has. So I have to know what's in our best interest, that little dog and my best interest for future life, by how I'm responding. So here's what prompted all this. So I got to thinking about this card game thing, and lo and behold, my business name is Ace. So play the ace and think of your ace as praise. Put more value into praise because it is something you always have available. Your reward, that cookie or that toy or that release cue or whatever, for me, the reward is situational. I'm always trying, or I have fun. I enjoy providing my dog with what they want the most in that environment, right? So if they want to chase a bike, they don't get that. If they want to chase a squirrel, they might get that, depending on safety. But when they're telling me, oh yeah, gosh, I wish I could have that, I want that so bad, I'm like, oh well, let's play a game here, and I may play that card. So don't let me digress. So if we looked at praise as our ace, and we've always got that in our hand, why not play it? The reward can make the ace more valuable. Maybe it's a second ace. I am not going to go that crazy on you. But let me go specific here on how this all formulated. So I've got you on board with this response. I'm going to be responsive, and I'm going to be patient with whether or not my dog gives me another question, or a step in the wrong direction, or a step in the right direction. And then I can be an active player in the game, and you can do with that what you want. I don't consider my training a game, but I am having a two-way dialogue that is very game-like. So, Rutrow, I don't know if I'm still recording or not. Give me just a minute to my camera. I think my camera is still on, but my screen went out. There we go. Sorry, I don't even know if you were interrupted. So what was happening is the dog was really experimenting with the recall. So the owner was getting the first mistake after analysis. One of these conversations that I got to have with the owner was that when the dog was called, there were times where the dog completely ignored the recall cue. There were times when the dog would stop and assess the handler for importance, I guess, whether it was worth his while to respond to it or do whatever he wanted to do. And the handler was getting frustrated because sometimes he got what he wanted. So that put the handler in the dangerous zone of he knows better. He knows that. Well, he knows a lot. He knows that sometimes it's to his advantage to come, and he knows that sometimes it's to his advantage to not come. So he just picks. It's not brain surgery. So where we started was marking that there was an error made. So when we continue to call, or we continue to cue, or we continue to ask or tell or demand, whatever emotional state you happen to be in, we're often not saying that there's any problem at hand. I'm just going to keep demanding or asking or requesting or inviting, and maybe I'll get lucky and you'll come, and then I can praise and reward, or just one or the other. This is not going to produce reliable results. I do mark errors, and the way that I mark a very serious error is no. The argument here is, if the dog was trained, why would he be making a serious error? And that's the first place you need to go. Are you truly at a place where you are polishing a behavior that is pretty strong in lots of environments, and you're just trying to seal the deal on those last couple elusive, difficult places? That's very different than using no to say you've made a mistake when the dog hasn't even learned. I'm not doing that. I have got success in many places to where I feel the dog is ready to be challenged by using the cue, the command, in a place where the dog has already convinced himself that, you know what, I don't think I can really be responsive when my brain is on squirrels. I don't really think I can be responsive when there's food on the ground. So I do, once I'm in the polishing phases of training, tell the dog, you've just made a mistake. That right there is the serious, because I like to have my dogs off leash a lot, and I respect people that don't need to have their dogs off leash a lot, not wanting to have that, what technically I call a bottom line. No, that right there's the mistake. What a dog will often do when he hears no, especially dogs that aren't hearing it all the time, they're not trying, they don't have teachers that are using no as a teaching tool. They have teachers that are using no as a polishing mechanism for a behavior that is pretty dang strong in lots of other places. What a lot of dogs will do is freeze. So here's the scenario. The dog is called. The first mistake my student was making is he was not raising. The dog would stop and look at him. So the handler plays a card. Come. The dog plays a card. You talking to me? And the handler doesn't play. So the dog goes, guess game's over. I'm happy to go do what I had in my mind to do anyway. So had that handler gone, yes, played the ace. The dog played you talking to me. That's a whatever, a pair, a high pair. The handler plays the ace of praise. The ace of praise is what this is about. Yes, good dog. You've recognized I'm on earth. You care what I think. You have stopped making the error. You're on the right track. Yes, good. And your dog has learned that when you're that happy, when you provide that much praise, when you play an ace, there's also going to be a reward. The ace is the gateway to reinforcement. So now you've got a dog, you've got a way to say right track, wrong track. No, passing me. So you've done the recall, and this time the dog passes you. No, the dog looks. What's your problem? I'm just doing what I do half the time. If I don't want to come, the dog's not going to see any, there's no problem for them in that scenario. Yes, yes, I want you to pay attention. But what the average handler thinks is you didn't come, and they tell the dog, no, you're in trouble. And the dog goes, why the hell would I come to you now if I'm in trouble? But if you play that ace of praise, you're not, stopping the mistake was exactly what I wanted. Now now the dog gets to play their next card of coming in, knowing that the praise means there's reinforcement in this very, very near future, or saying, I'm still I don't care. There's a good chance that dog does not have the foundation learning for this right track, wrong track, no good dog to work. Really good chance, and you got to go there first. If that's not the case, you take the dog back, you do all the testing in lots of different environments. You can call off food in the house. You can call off food in the backyard. You can call off another dog in the house. You can call off another dog in the backyard. Then you may be ready to play the second no. The dog pauses, you praise like crazy, and the dog goes, I'm still not sure that I wouldn't rather do this. You can wait a moment while that dog is in pause. Dog's going to do one of three things. He's going to come in on the pause. You can turn on the praise like a water faucet. He turns to go the other way. You can mark it no, like you flipped on a light switch, or he can continue to stand still. Now you've got to decide based on success and failures and recent improvements, whether that absence of making the next error is good. Good boy. Normally you would do that assessment and then nick off again. Good. It's good you're thinking. It's good you're not leaving. And then you can invite him in. This is the next piece, buddy. Are you with me? So playing the praise, the mistake my handler was making was the first time he played the no card, which worked well because he wasn't a trainer that used no as a way to teach. He used it for the first time. He had learned not to use no and assumed it meant ever, 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 ever. When he said no, his dog did freeze. He did get the desired response of what no was supposed to do. The dog went, oh, newsflash, is something wrong here? Are you not pleased? And he said, here. So the dog played the card of freezing for more information. And what he got was a cue that he already had decided he didn't always want to hear. If he had gotten, so in my mind's eye, My handler played a low value card by giving the dog, by repeating the cue. If he had just praised, I love you, you're great, I can see you thinking, I love it that you care what no means, you are on the right track, I have absence of a worse mistake happening. If he had just said, great, I'll take it, yes, good boy, that's it, he might have got the recall free. He might not have had to play. And now that you've listened to no, I'm going to give you another job. I'm going to give you something that I'm not 100% sure you want. In fact, at that point, you could be relatively sure. If the dog was dying for a recall cue, which is what I want my dogs dying to hear their recall cue. And I do a lot of work to get the dogs there. I hike a lot. I have delicious reinforcement with me, and I'm playing that ace. Oh, what a good dog. Look at you. I am, the minute their little heads turn, Yahoo! I mean, I got the corniest routines known to man. I do that as they're coming in, and they just come faster and faster. I have a big party. Oh, when there's cookies too. So I really don't have the recall problems that my clients have, and I think maybe some of this will help. So let me know if you need help. But when you play those cards, play your praise card any chance you can. There's more than 4 aces. You got a whole handful of them, and you can keep them if it's not worthy. But when you've got a dog trying and considering the next move, that next move, if you play your ace of praise, if you play it, you may get the thing you wanted in the first place. And the other thing I want to say about the difference between rewarding and praising always has heartfelt emotion. Always. Praise always feels good. You are expressing gratitude and appreciation of effort. You're telling the dog you rock. You're looking in their eyes. You're smiling. Rewarding can be done in fact, those of us that love shaping, you know that rewarding is a mechanical skill. Can you combine them? Of course you can put heartfelt praise into rewarding. There are times where it's not an advantage to. There are times when there is an advantage to, and this is, what you can learn more about training techniques. So I hope that helps. Play that ace of praise, and let me know if you have questions. Thanks for watching.